So first thing, sea shipping versus air shipping. I have to apologise for being quite quick with this, but I don't want it to be like a half an hour video. So sea shipping versus air shipping. Air shipping is great if you're in a hurry and you need your products within 2 weeks. It is more expensive because you're using an agent to get you from A to B. So they do everything for you. They obviously charge you for that cost. They charge you for doing that. And of course, sending things by air is inherently more expensive. So if you are importing, let's say, under 150 kilograms worth of stock, so maybe your 500 units are 150 kilograms, then do you know what? It's probably best to go through air shipping, because the cost, once you put together the sea shipment plus all the fees, it's probably actually going to be cheaper to go with air shipping. Now, that might be counterintuitive, but you'll see later when I go through my costings of why that would be. So if you're doing anything under 150 kilograms for all of your units, probably going to go with air shipping, but you might want to get a quote for sea shipping anyway. Sea shipping obviously is anything that is maybe more than 150 kilograms for your units. For example, I have like 200 units, and I think they are I can't even remember, but I think it's nearly 200 kilograms. Okay, so you have an idea that through doing that through air shipping, it's so expensive, you might as well want to do it through sea shipping. Okay. You can use FedEx and UPS and all these guys that you use for air shipping. However, they are more expensive with sea shipping than what I'm about to tell you, okay, and what I've used myself. So let's talk about the terms that you actually, that suppliers talk to you about. So the freight charge terms. So when you're getting your quotes from Alibaba, like they'll say, yes, it's, FOB price is, whatever the price is, or the EXW price is this, or the CIF price. Now, you need to know what these are, particularly with sea shipping. Air shipping, not so important, because FedEx will deal with everything and you don't have to worry about it. So first is FOB, which is freight on board. This basically means that the cost of the delivering goods to the nearest port is included. However, once it gets to your nearest port, so for me in the UK or whoever in the US, you are then responsible as the buyer of any costs and getting it to the destination. So you are then responsible. That's what FOB means. EXW is just the cost of the product manufactured. No delivery, no anything, no exporting costs, just manufacture cost. CIF is the cost, insurance, and freight. So very similar to FOB. They get it to the UK port, to the US port, wherever you are, your nearest port. And then the only difference is that you have insurance covered if anything goes wrong with the boat or whatever. So there's insurance on that. The other one is CNF, which is cost and basically no insurance and freight. So that means it's similar to CIF. You get it to the port destination, but there's no insurance, which you can actually pick up for about £30-40 separately. So it's not a really big difference. The two that would be useful if you've done what I've done is FOB and CIF mostly. However, what I'm going to suggest going forward, you'll actually be using the EXW price. And I'll explain that in a minute. So why use a specialist freight forwarder? I'm going to go through what a freight forwarder is first, and then just talk about the guy that I found, and he is specialist, and I'll talk to you why that's important. So first of all, a freight forwarder, basically, they just get your stock and they forward it somewhere. So they approach a shipping company that run the boats, and they say, we want 100 containers or 50 containers. The really big like red. I'll probably put one like here now. Really big red things. They will buy some of them, and you're pretty much renting the space within the container. So they can get a bulk saving, and then the bulk saving is then kind of fed onto you in that sense. Of course, you want to make sure that you're using that space wisely. So you wouldn't do it for small, tiny shipments. And normally they get a better deal than UPS, because UPS will have higher costings. They'll have to pay more, because they're a massive company. But the big thing, this is the really, really big thing. You're not going to get the customer service with a huge company. You're just not going to get it. You're going to phone them up, you speak to a customer service representative, and they're not really going to know what they're talking about. They've been trained on it, but they don't really know. You want to talk about taxes, you have to talk to the taxes department. bit of a pain. Whereas what I've done is I've gone for a specialist FBA freight forwarding company. So they only deal with Amazon FBA, which means they know exactly what they're talking about. And they specialize in China to the UK, China to the US, and then the UK to the US. So they're fantastic for all of you guys watching, pretty much, to organize your stock, getting it from China or getting it from your port in your country to Amazon. Because many of you that have done sea shipping might not be aware that you're going to have to pick your products up and you're going to have to deal with it when it gets to your country. The suppliers, they don't tell you, to be honest, they don't know too much information about it. They don't know much about the costs because they export to everywhere in the world. They're not really concerned. However, you need to know it because you're going to be stuck with the bill at the end of it. So I have used a guy called, his name is Adam Marsek. I hope you've got his second name correct. I'll put his name in the description. And I'm going to speak about him in a minute when I talk about the breakdown of the costs. But he's been very, very helpful. Okie dokie, next thing. What do you need if you're importing into the UK? So this is UK specific. If you are in the US or in any other country, reach out to Adam because he will tell you specifically what you need. If you're in the UK, this is what you need. First of all, something called a bill of lading. And that is something you get from the supplier. That says who the supplier is, which is them, who the importer is, which is you, the delivery address, the instructions if there are any, the bill of lading number, the carrier name, the freight charge term, so like FOB or CIF, the commodity description, so what your product is, and obviously the shipping agents need to know this because they need to know what's in the shipping containers, make sure it's not illegal or explosive or whatever, and then the quantity of how many products you have. So that's one thing, bill of lading. The next thing you'll need is a commercial invoice. So this states the value of your shipment, and this is used for tax purposes and so VAT for us in the UK and customs duty as well. So that will say the exact value, and that's what HMRC will work out how much you owe them. The other thing you'll need is something called a packing list, or some people call it a shipping list or a weigh bill. And this pretty much says the quantity and the type of products that you are shipping. So the quantity of how many units there are, pretty much like your shipping plan from Amazon. Your freight forwarder will be able to do this for you if it's not provided for you by your manufacturer. So those are the three things you need. It's in the description to give you an idea, okay? Now, where am I? So those are the things that you need to know. When you are approaching your supplier and you're asking about this stuff, ask for like the FOB price and make sure that you get the correct price and reach out to a freight forwarder, reach out to Adam. I really highly recommend him. Say that I have recommended him as well. Say Johnny Bradley recommended I speak to you and maybe get a quote or ask a few questions about your specific situation. Because he might suggest to you, and he said to me, he could have saved me a huge amount of money if he organised the shipment from start to finish rather than just from the UK port, because you could save money because they have items on that boat, so they could have bundled together, saved money. I could have benefited from the bulk discount, which I could have done. However, I didn't know that. I didn't know who he was at the beginning, but now I do. I will be only using him going forward. Okay, it's going to save me so much money. So reach out to him and just let him know that I introduced you and ask him questions. He's been so helpful over the last few weeks, literally teaching me about this so I can pass his information on to you. Honestly, this information, although I've gone through it pretty quickly, it will literally save you like potentially hours, weeks, and a lot of money, and potentially avoid mistakes and again money spent. So I'll check him out. He's really good. So the next thing I want to talk about is the cost, so the actual fees of sea shipping. So first of all, you have, of course, the cost of actually getting your stuff to your port, so to the UK port or to the US port. There is, of course, a cost with that, and I paid that to my manufacturer as part of my price. I paid like $1, like 60 per unit or something like that, $1.80 per unit. It was under $2, and that was to get it to the UK. Then there are two things you have to pay. One is your fee to the HMRC for the UK, and the second is your freight forwarder fee. So I'm going to go over the freight forwarding fee first. And again, I will put this in the description so you can see visually what it looks like. The first thing I have to pay for is a terminal handling fee. So when your products get to the UK ports, then someone has to get that stuff off the boat, put it somewhere, and organise it. So you have to pay for that. I paid £69. Then there's documentation fee. So with any products, with any importing, there are documents that have to be filled out. You have to pay for that. It's £100. Next thing, so those two were a cost price. Adam didn't charge me anything extra for those. Those are the costs that he paid. So it's a cost price to me. The next four things are the freight forwarding. So Adam's business, so FBA forwarding, they're his costs. So first is a co-loader fee. They are known as the co-loader. There's a fee for them. I think they're known as co-loader. I might be wrong on that actually. I might correct myself in the description. But that was £30 a co-loading fee. And I assume that's to get that onto somewhere. Anyway, I need to research that one. Customs clearance fee. So they have organised all the customs clearance, organising everything for me. £45 for that. Once I pay HMRC, I then tell Adam. He then goes to customs again, make sure they can release my products. Next thing is a pallet fee. So you know those like pump trucks that delivery guys have with the pallets, the wooden pallets, and they cost money. So I have to pay £9.50 for one of those. The next thing is the actual delivery to the Amazon warehouse, which was £95, which I thought was actually incredibly reasonable. I had other quotes from other freight forwarders that were significantly higher than that. So that brings it just under £350 in total. And then on top of that, I then have to pay HMRC for the customs duty and the VAT. Now, this is very, very important. You need to pay for this stuff as soon as possible. The reason being is you have 7 days to get your products out of the UK port. Otherwise, they're going to start charging you a warehouse fee, like a holding fee. Storage fee, sorry. So you definitely do not want to do that. This needs to be organised before your products arrive in the UK. So HMRC, you pay immediately. As soon as you know the cost, then literally pay them within like half an hour, because the sooner you can pay, the sooner your items can be released from customs, okay? Adam would do that for you. I just paid. He sent me all the information. I pay HMRC. I let him know when I've paid, and then he then gets it released with customs, which is obviously what they charge for. The next thing is, of course, paying your freight forwarder. Do that as soon as possible, because they ain't going to do no work if you haven't paid them. So I will put this all in the description so you can see, but that is an idea of the costs associated with sea shipping.